The frequency you emanate determines your worldly experience. Hi and welcome to this week's World Affairs Truth Report number 12. I'm Helen Jane Rose, and if you're new to our channel, these are weekly reports that I write through automatic writing and then read out verbatim. And then my lovely partner Ged joins me to unpack the messages and bring his wisdom and higher perspective to helping to understand the messages. The reports have come out of, they're a continuation of a book that I channeled, The Coming Times, A Pathway to Inner Peace. And so that's really like the foundation of where these writings are coming from. And now we're doing a weekly report, so it's here on YouTube every week. And so this week I'll be reading out the report as always, and then I've been asked by the Divine Council to do a energy healing meditation. So I'm going to do that within this after I've written the report, but then also going to add it as a separate entity after this, so that you can listen to that separate if you want to like close your eyes and just have a bit more space and time to get into the meditation. Okay, right, welcome beautiful souls to this week's World Affairs Truth Report. We come this week with a slightly different style of a report, as it's a very important week to assist you in shifting more consciously into a higher frequency for you. The frequency you are inwardly at is everything. The world is relying on many of you to bring to it a higher frequency, a frequency that is the true you, fully embodied. When you can actually embody a higher frequency, which isn't an easy thing to do and takes a lot of inner dedication, it emanates out from you, and just by being you, you are affecting change immensely. This may sound passive, but it is not. It is a very strong frequency that can literally shift situations if it wanted to. It has the power to affect change in a multitude of ways that can't be understood from the level of consciousness that created them. All fear of unsavoury beings from other places, other planets, can be eradicated as and when the planet and its people rise to a frequency where they just won't be able to reside in. Remember, everyone originates from Source. There is nothing outside of Source. Yet souls who have fallen so far from their original source use their power of creation in destructive ways and can create in ways that work very much against the good of the whole. Yet the frequency that we speak of is far more powerful than the false creations that cannot survive in higher vibrations. They thrive in fear. Fear is their source. Your source is love. And as more and more people realise this, they can literally switch their frequency from frequency of fear to the frequency of love. The planet will change in ways that are unfathomable for anyone to truly imagine at the moment. Taking time in meditation is so important for you at the moment. Many are unsure of the best way to meditate, and it's a word that has been bandied around like the best new car that's just come out. A true dedication to stillness, to going inwards, to stepping away from all the external distractions pulling at you, and having the self-discipline to move inwardly. This is a very important thing to do right now. For many, it feels uncomfortable to put your focus on your inner world, but it's the only way to truly raise your frequency. It can only come from within you. There is much help to aid you in your journey inwards, yet at the end of the day, it's up to you. Only you can make the time to do it for you. If you set your intention that your purpose for meditation is to raise your frequency, then this will help you immensely to have a focus. Again, the word frequency is bandied about so much these days, but what we speak of is first and foremost the frequency of loving self unconditionally as a gateway to then actually feeling viscerally the frequency of unconditional love from within you. Unconditional love equals inner peace. And inner peace is where we are guiding you to. For inner peace is the Holy Grail, if you like. It is the true unification of you with your source. That unification brings great power for you and the world too. And so I've been asked just to read a particular page from the Coming Times book that I referred to at the beginning, and they've asked me just to read a page out from it. Well, it's not the whole page, but just a little bit from it, where they talk about meditation. So I guess it's just following on from today's message. So I'm just gonna read this out. You were always supposed to feel good from within you. You know this at a deep level, and it's now about coming to the realization that what doesn't feel good to you is leading you to choose what does. We can tell you that something that will most definitely feel good to you is meditation. For through the quietening of your mind, you are giving your soul the space to speak to you. It inspires you through the silence that you practice when you are holding the intention to quiet your mind. At some point, this will become second nature to you, but at the beginning of full soul alignment, it's about giving as much space to your soul as you're able to do. The more often, the better, that we can assure you. Most wish to distract themselves, but not you. You know the power of coming into silence within you. You are here to be, and from that peaceful state of awareness, you will be inspired to do. Let your soul lead you and realize that it inspires you most from the silence. Let sitting in silence become part of your daily practice for you. Okay, and so that finishes the report for this week. And so now, if you want to do the meditation now, I suggest like getting yourself into a really comfortable, warm place, whether that's like lying down or sitting down, whatever your favourite place is to meditate. And if you'd rather now just kind of fast forward to Ged's part, then this bit we will put up separately so that you can just come to it when it's a good time for you to do the meditation, the energy healing. Yes, so I have it's going to be it's a channeled meditation. So I've written part of it, that there's specific things that they actually want me to make sure that I say, so I'll make sure that I do include those. So if you just start to just close your eyes and just allow yourself to start to switch out from the world and just dropping in to yourself and just starting to feel yourself breathing. Just really noticing your body breathing. Perhaps just bringing your awareness to your heart center and just starting to feel that really subtle movement as you're breathing in and you're breathing out. That really subtle expansion and contraction in your heart. And then just shifting your awareness down to your stomach. And just feeling that really subtle movement in your body, that rise and fall, as you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And just allowing your body to just start to relax. Just feeling your body resting, whether you're on the bed or whether you're sitting on a chair. Just becoming really present to yourself. Becoming present to your body. And just starting to shift your awareness to focusing on your breathing. And just starting to slow your breathing down. And just as you're breathing in, just inwardly saying to yourself, I'm relaxing. And then as you're breathing out, just saying to yourself, I'm letting go. And just as you're breathing in, I'm relaxing. And as you're breathing out, I'm letting go. And just doing that a few more times, slowing your breathing down. Just becoming really present to yourself. Just giving yourself this space, away from all distractions. Just being with yourself. And just allowing whatever is going on within you in this moment to just be perfectly okay. If you have got thoughts whirling through your mind, just allow them to be there. Just bring your awareness to them without any judgment of yourself. Just just let them be there. Just let them be in the space with you. Just allow them to be there. No right or wrong. Just being here with yourself. Just bringing yourself more and more into presence with you. And just starting to shift your awareness to that space behind your thinking. That space where the true you exists. It's that silence that rests behind all the noise of your thoughts. It's that stillness. It's that still space that we can sometimes feel when our thoughts stop. It's the silence that's there beckoning you to just rest with it. That space behind your thoughts. And it becomes more obvious to us the more we actually become more aware of our thoughts. So as we start to become more observant of all the thoughts that are whirling around, it opens up the opportunity for us to realize that behind them is this sacred space just waiting for our attention. And this meditation, this energy healing, this little journey that we're about to go on, it's in a sense to help you to create a stronger connection to that silence behind all your thinking, that space where the true you resides, your soul, that true you that's always beckoning for us to come back to. The you at your core. And there are so many choices available to you. And you're being asked in this moment to just choose to connect more deeply with you. And in this moment, I want you to imagine that there's a portal that's been created just for you. And this portal is waiting for you to enter. It's totally unique just for you. And just to start to use your imagination and to start to visualize yourself being surrounded in water. And to start to imagine yourself as best you can as a baby. Not necessarily the you as a baby, but to start to get this sense of being in a womb, if you like. But it's not a womb, it's a portal that's being created. It's surrounding you. And you're just being asked to allow this portal to start to develop around you. It's an energetic portal, and it's filled with this water-like substance, and it's just starting to move around you. And I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're just going to imagine yourself as a baby, as best you can, being surrounded in this water, being held by this water, feeling nurtured by this water. So 10, just starting to notice the water around you. 9, imagining yourself breathing perfectly through it. 8, feeling this water bringing a really peaceful sense into you. 7, imagining yourself at the very beginning of life itself. 6, just being, just breathing. 5, fully content, being nourished by your surroundings. 4, you're at peace. 3, you're noticing this water that surrounds you has a frequency that you're feeling. 2, breathing softly, feeling so nurtured. 1, surrounded by this energetic water, allowing yourself to just be for a moment, feeling the water surrounding you, just being you at your core, just being bathed in this frequency that is surrounding you, that is unique for you in this moment, not trying to work anything out, just imagining you in your absolute pure innocence, being fully connected to the frequency that wants to bathe you now. And now in this moment, imagining yourself as you now, the you of today, and starting to imagine that the water that's surrounding you is changing and it's becoming light, and that light is getting brighter and brighter around you. And that light is starting to merge with you, and you are starting to merge with the light. And as you merge with the light, you are starting to lose a sense of you. Yet you are getting a stronger sense of your heart. And if you were looking at your heart, you would see it glowing white, glowing with white light. And as you feel this light and watch this light at the heart of you, it's like the light is taking over you. And you're just starting to lose a sense of the form of you. As this portal unique to you is filled more strongly with this light that's coming through to you, that you are merging with, and where you begin and end is becoming less familiar to you, for you are merging in this moment with this light. And it has a message for you. And the message is, when you come out of this portal, you have choices about how you will respond to everything that occurs for you. Will you respond from fear, or will you respond from love that will strengthen your connection with the source that is you? Your source only wants the best for you, connected to the true you. This is how you become a blessing to the world and to yourself too. You can let the world define you, or you can define you based on knowing who you really are. There is great power within you. Do you choose in this moment to connect more with the source at the heart of you? Just say yes inwardly. You are being held in a portal between who you were and who you are becoming. Now inwardly say, I choose to align with the light that is in and around me. I choose to align with the light that is in and around me. I choose to align with the light that is in and around me. We come in and around you now in this moment like a cloak of golden light that we wrap around you. And this cloak of golden light is what you will become more familiar with, known as soul conscious technology. And as we bathe you in this golden light, we ask that light to soak, if you like, into your nervous system. We bring it through your spinal column as it moves up into your mind, your brain, if you like, bringing this remembering of your connection to your source, to your light, to the true you in all your essence, in a new way of being that is so familiar to you, a way of functioning in this world that is more familiar to you than you can remember, for you have forgotten the way, the true way of heart-led living. And in this moment we are helping to activate that remembering from within you. As we bring this frequency, if you like, that has started to build from the beginning of this meditation, this energy healing, as we strengthen, as we help you to strengthen your connection to the source at the heart of you, so that thread, that feeling becomes stronger and more natural than how your thinking feels to you. As we help to strengthen that source that's feeding you, helping to make that feel so much more familiar to you than all those thousands of thoughts that do feel comfortable to you. And as they start to feel less comfortable, and as the silence starts to feel more like the true to you, you start to switch your frequency into truly aligning with the peace that resides within you. That peace that we are helping to just activate a little more for you. That peace that resides behind all the thoughts that bombard you. And now, counting back from 10 to 1, and when we get to 1, feeling refreshed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, starting to feel a little bit more awake. 4, maybe moving your hands and your toes. 3, maybe starting to maybe yawn or stretch your body a little bit. 2, 1. And just in your own time, just slowly starting to come round and just opening your eyes as and when it feels comfortable to do so. And I just feel like I want to say that sometimes it feels like hardly anything's happening, and your mind might have been going everywhere, and you might have been thinking, oh, I can't get into this, or but just know that you might feel a little bit wobbly afterwards, or if you feel a little bit ungrounded, just do something to, whether that's like sometimes maybe just having a bit of like dark chocolate, or maybe putting your feet on the earth or something. Maybe just do something if you just feel a little bit ungrounded, which you might do, or you may not. Anyway, sending lots and lots and lots of love. And I think I just want to close on, for some reason they're really, really kind of pushing that this week is really important for us to try and be in silence a lot. So I don't know why. I don't know if it's that things might be more chaotic on the outside, or perhaps it's something to do with, what we want to call it, I don't know, cosmically, that they're asking us to like try and tune into. But yeah, just maybe this week be more mindful of even just like taking like 5 minutes out just to sit, just consciously sit, just whether it's with your eyes closed, or whether it's just maybe like staring at a tree or nature, but just taking time to be in that still point. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to shuffle over now, and Ged is going to come and take over.
Hi, I'm Ged. Feeling slightly sedated after that. I don't think I should even offer any words on that at the moment, because it's a unique experience, and just sort of bask in whatever your experience is of silence, of meditation, of altered state, and just enjoy it, whatever it means for you, because it might change the more and more you do it. But thank you for the divine counsel, and to Helen for that beautiful, not just meditation, but transmission, healing, and beautiful codes that come through with that. So maybe press pause if you've just done the meditation, and just sit with that, and then come back to the unpacking when you feel like it. So yeah, I guess we're going backwards to come forwards with this, because the theme is silence and meditation, and the importance of it, and the great things that come with it, and the enjoyment of it. How we emit our frequencies, and the responsibility of that, and how that affects the world and everything in it. Very important, significant topics to consider and to explore yourself. So they begin with the DC that is come with, they say it's a slightly different type of report to assist us with shifting more consciously into a high vibration, a high frequency for you rather. The frequency you are inwardly vibrating at is everything. And I guess there we have to consider that we are frequency beings, even seemingly rock solid objects, rocks being one of them, and by anything that we construct, and it's all a vibration, just moving at a slower pace, and we are vibration. And the spectrum of us as human beings, I guess the densest point is bone, and the least dense is our thoughts, feelings and emotions that you can't see, but you know that they're there. So there'll be a scale, and they're seemingly inseparable there. One affects the other. What the DC are suggesting here is how we vibrate, the frequency we emit affects our world significantly, and therefore that brings a whole load of responsibility to us as emanators of those frequencies. And they also go to point out that they're here to assist us in this becoming awareness and the responsibility of our managing and being in control of our frequency, and for us to lean into them or to whatever spiritual source that you prefer or follow or are led by. And they say the world is relying on many of you to bring it to a higher frequency, a frequency that is true, that is the true you fully embodied. And I thought that was an interesting turn of phrase, that the world is relying on you to bring a high frequency. Again, a sense of responsibility. And the world I understood in this context to be not just humanity, but the plant and animal kingdom and the earth itself. It's seemingly connected on all levels in every way, shape or form, so one thing affects the other. And that brings with it an even bigger responsibility. Wherever you're vibrating at affects and creates the world that we see, taste, smell, touch and feel. And considering just the human aspect of that, now there are some people who are very unaware of their responsibility, of their frequency that they're emanating. And so there's an opportunity for us, and the DC are suggesting we just have to be in order for them to sort of tune in or to pick up on that frequency. We don't have to go around with billboards saying frequency will save us or whatever, or beware of frequencies or whatever. They're saying you emanate, your emanation, the way just walking into a room can change a room depending on how you're feeling. We've all been in that situation. We've been at a party or something where someone's walked in and is not having a great day. You all know about it. But the opposite is true too. We sense, we feel people. And the more and more that we can, en masse move into a high vibrational perspective, then that will, fan out across the world. And they back that up by when you can actually embody a higher frequency, and they're saying it's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of inner dedication. It emanates out from you just by being you. You are affecting change. Now this, I wrote down the word entrainment when I read this. Entrainment means, in a medical perspective, I think they used to use it anyway, to match organs. So they would, if there was a donor, they would take a healthy cell from an organ and put it in a petri dish with a damaged cell of the person who needs a new organ. And if the damaged cell entrained up, and what that meant was synchronized with or copied or merged or melded with this healthy cell, then there was a match for the organs, or potential match anyway. If they didn't, then there was more likelihood of a rejection. And also, entrainment, I think, is you can watch YouTube if you put in metronome, the TikTok musical metronome, that they put a whole bunch of them in on a tray in front of you, and they set them all off in chaos, so they're all moving at a different pace, and then bit by bit, one by one, they start to connect with each other. And it's not before long where each one of them, they're all simultaneously doing the same thing. I think the comedy in it is there's always one that tries not to go its own pace and own direction, but eventually it just concedes, and that's that's what the DC is saying here, is that if we start to become conscious of our vibration and our thoughts, feelings, words and actions, then other people will follow, and eventually we'll all be singing from the same song sheet. It's a science, it's not just spiritual woo-woo, it's an exact science. We like to follow, we like to copy, but we do it subconsciously as well as consciously. They say this may sound passive, but it's not. It's a very strong frequency that can literally shift situations if it wanted to. It has the power to affect change in a multitude of ways that can't be understood from the level of consciousness that created them. Yeah. Well, Einstein's famous quote, no situation, no problem, if you like, can be solved at the level of consciousness that it was created at. So you have to shift your consciousness in order to resolve it, and that's clear enough, obvious. That's evolution. We see that each and every day. We can fix problems, which is kind of what we're taught at in school, to paper over the cracks and just, you don't actually go to the root source. Even dare I say it, Western medicine. I'm a big fan of Eastern medicine, as most of you know, but the philosophy wants to go to the root. And going to the root means dealing with the emotional intelligence. And when you up-level the emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, then the body responds in altering the outward effect. Because signs and symptoms and uncomfortable issues, they're a reflection of the emotional discord, which is the root source. The frequency that we're vibrating at in this instance is the emotion. So if you resolve the emotion, then sometimes it takes a little bit of time, sometimes it's instantaneous. I don't know why that would be, but maybe that's a belief. But anyway, that's how it happens. So in order for sustainable change, we have to change our frequency. It's non-negotiable. There's no other way around that. Then a slight sort of swerve ball, and I don't know, it didn't really follow the thread and they say all fear of unsavory beings from other places and planets can be eradicated as and when the planet and its people rise to a frequency where they just won't be able to reside in. I can't recall in any previous World Affairs Truth reports where they've mentioned extraterrestrials or the idea of otherworldly beings, but they've directly alluded to them here. We only have to, scroll through or swipe whatever, Instagram or anything else, and there's a lot more output now. There've been UFO followers forever, but there's a lot more of it now, and methinks some skullduggery at bay, but from a logical perspective, it's highly improbable, almost, or even impossible. If you just look at the night sky and the amount of stars out there, and planets and galaxies, and the idea that human species on planet Earth is the only one that has any meaningful life force is just ludicrous. But we are here, and our focus is here. But it seems, and the DC is suggesting here, there is help and assistance beyond the veil that we are sort of encloaked in. And when we reach a higher level of consciousness, they will become more obvious to us. More people will see them. My feeling is if you see anything on the mainstream media right now, it's highly likely to be fake. Because we're not ready. If we saw, a spaceship arrive, the powers that be would, at first and foremost, try and shoot it down. Then they try and steal from it, and then they try to manipulate it, and that's kind of where we're at. And we need to change from that, so that those otherworldly entities, extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, that are of a much higher consciousness than we are, and you can tell just by the reports that come through here and other channelers, the information that comes through is in such a high vibration that I can't wait to meet them in person when the time is right. But in order for us to get to that place where they feel safe entering into our frequency, it's not going to happen right now. But let's, hope that we, one day in our lifetime, that will happen. I'm not sure why that was in there, but thank you anyway. And they say, supporting that, statement, remember everyone originates from source, there is nothing outside of the source. That we all have names for whatever higher source that we believe in. I mean, I call it God. Other people can call it whatever, right? The name is almost irrelevant. But what the DC are stressing here is that it doesn't matter whether you're from Earth or anywhere else, physical or non-physical or whatever disposition you present us, we're all from the same source energy at some point. Now, I imagine if you are that source energy, or you're aware of it, that you fundamentally believe that even though there are some heinous crimes and committed by souls on this planet and maybe others at this time, that you fundamentally believe that there's goodness at the very depth, it's just hidden. I don't think we're asked to, go to that place, especially to the ones that are, committing these heinous crimes. But somehow or other we have to fundamentally believe there's a lot more people on the planet that can be awakened and then do lean into the idea of a higher vibrational human being and connections and oneness, and that's where our attention should be. It says, yet souls who have fallen so far from their original source use their power of creation in destructive ways and can create themselves in ways that work very much against the good of the whole. And, just reaffirming what I've just said, but they, from my understanding of it, is that, if we consider that everything is from source energy, why does some behave in such abhorrent ways? And the fear energy comes to mind, and initially fear of survival, I imagine. Maybe other planets are in difficulty or have been or destroyed or whatever, and that's sort of playing out on this planet too. If you're trying to take control and manipulate, then there's a fear at the root of all of that. And some are using, so they're in a fear-based place, but they're also using fear to control others. I think we have to sort of set that aside in order for us to move forward, because there are millions, if not billions, of souls on the planet that are in fear, that don't attempt to coerce or manipulate or control. And that's who we're looking at in this entrainment topic. This is who can wake up quick if they fundamentally have a faith in other human beings. And again, it's not bringing the billboards out, it's emanating a higher frequency, which you have a choice to be. It says, yet the frequency that we speak of is far more powerful than the false creations that cannot survive in higher vibrations. So I imagine they're talking about the frequency of unconditional love, or pervasive energy. So it's a frequency, it's not just a gesture on a greeting card, it's not just something you say to each other. When you love each other, it's science as well. It's a vibration. And if we all vibrated at unconditional love, there would be no war on this planet. There would be no poverty, there would be no destruction. It would just be a different world, and that's where we're being directed towards, to understand that it's an attainable, realistic frequency that is already at the root of us, and it's through opening that heart, the heart energy, that energy can come through, that frequency can come through. And so it's a daily practice to be aware of your thoughts, words, deeds and actions, as I say, and be conscious of where you're vibrating at. And we all have bad days, but just be okay with the fact that you're having a bad day, and it's not a permanent fixture that you're having a bad day. Be honest with it. Explore what's coming up, explore what needs to be shifted or dealt with, and then dust yourself down and choose something that's going to lift your vibration. So yeah, the DC have gone on, repeating what I've said. They thrive in fear, fear is their source. But your source is love. And as more and more people realise this, they can literally switch from the frequency of fear to the frequency of love. The planet will change in ways that are unfathomable for anyone to truly imagine at the moment. And they're saying taking time in medication is so important for you at the moment. So they're leading us here into the pathway, into silence, into peace, into meditation, into contemplation and becoming aware of your state. In the last report, number 11, the DC spoke a lot more about meditation, so maybe if you want to have a look at that, and the pause in meditation, the pause in thinking, to allow in guidance and higher consciousness to come through. So many are unsure of the best way to meditate, and it's a word that's been bandied around like the best new car that's just come out. There is a danger of it becoming a fad, and with other things, yoga, Pilates, and other things that weren't very popular going back even less than a decade ago. They're around, and the buzzwords around it, and especially in the spiritual community, it can get a bad name. And so the DC are concerned about this, or sort of sharing a concern, but they want for it not to be watered down, not to be just treated as something to show off that you do, and to take it seriously and to understand the vital impact that it has on yourself and on others. It's so important, and they're really stressing it, and I imagine they'll come back to this more and more. And as it becomes a fad, it gives scope for other people or forces that want to ridicule it to come in and call it woo-woo and nonsense and laugh at it, and therefore then people get scared away from it. So don't take it away from those people that are teetering on the edge. Treat it seriously, but enjoy it at the same time. So a true dedication to stillness, to going inwards, to stepping away from all the external distractions pulling at you, and having the self-discipline to move inwardly. This is a very important thing to do right now. For many, it feels uncomfortable to put your focus on your inner world, but it's the only way to truly raise your frequency. I felt the uncomfortableness was more than one way. Uncomfortable in sometimes we don't like to feel, especially when there's difficult issues, and silence and meditation can allow those energies to come up, and we can run into distraction, avoidance, whatever. And so they're asking us to sit with it and not be scared of emotion. We should embrace emotion. When you feel it, you can process it. The body processes it through your DNA, through the cells, through the physical being, and then it doesn't need to trigger you or disturb you in any way. That's what healing is. But I also think there's an uncomfortableness in the guilt of being still and enjoying meditation, enjoying silence when there's craziness out there. We feel like we have to do something. But if you reflect on what the DC is saying through all of this, is that things change through your higher frequency or high vibration, then you are doing something far more helpful by meditating and raising your vibration through entrainment. Then others can entrain too and lift their own vibration. So you're not doing nothing, you are doing a lot and enjoying it, hopefully. They say it can only come from within you, and that there is much help to aid you in your journey inwards. Yet at the end of the day, it's up to you. Only you can make the time to do it for you. That's responsibility. You don't have to do it, but I think if you're a conscious being and you know that it helps in some way, then you're going to feel drawn to do it, or you're going to want to do it in some way. If you set your intention that your purpose for meditation is to raise your frequency, then this will help you immensely to have a focus. So the ego mind, it wants to know that there's a reason. It wants focus. What's the point of just sitting there and doing nothing? Your ego mind's going to go crazy and pour in thousands of thoughts, shopping, whatever else is going on. So this is, focusing or giving your ego mind something to do while you're in that stillness. So those two positions can run alongside each other quite easy, I think. And if there is a purpose, if the outcome is through meditation, you're going to raise your frequency and vibration, that is then not just going to help you, but going to help your family, loved ones, friends, the arm's length world, and the earth, the animal kingdom, all of it, just by raising your vibration. Then the ego mind will eventually fall into line, because at its heart it wants the best for you anyway. Again, the word frequency is bandied about so much these days, but what we speak of is first and foremost the frequency of loving self unconditionally as a gateway to then actually feeling viscerally the frequency of unconditional love from within you. Unconditional love equals inner peace, and inner peace is where we are guiding you to. For inner peace is the holy grail, if you like. It's the true unification of you with your source. That unification brings great power for you and the world too. I had to read this a few times to really embody it, I think, because I personally felt that inner peace seemed more attainable than unconditional love for yourself. So my perspective would have been, inner peace equals or leads to unconditional love. But they're saying it's the other way around. So then I sort of meditated on that a little bit, and it came to me that inner peace is a state of being. It's a way, it's not something you choose, it's something that you evolve into. And the passageway to it is unconditional love. And that starts off by being a choice to love yourself in small ways. You can't do it overnight. You can't, if you spent your entire life hating yourself or judging yourself, then being asked to unconditionally love yourself overnight it's not possible. But you can start to choose to stop those negative thoughts, to turn them into positive thoughts, and to, pat yourself on the back and encourage yourself. Know that these challenges or weaknesses, if you like, if that's what you consider they are, imperfections, they come from pattern, learned behaviour, outside world. They're not you. And so it's just acknowledging that it's something that you've maladapted, that you've learnt maladaptive behaviour, and love yourself for the fact that you've had to put up with it and that you're going to change. And the more and more we can love ourselves, that then eventually leads into unconditional love, which leads to inner peace. So it's a pathway, and as well as it being sort of spiritual pathway, it's a scientific pathway. It changes your state, changes your cellular activity, changes your DNA, changes the gene sequencing. And then the inner peace, so that state, that new state of inner peace, creates a portal that opens the pathway, the heart pathway, and then your soul can communicate with you without distortion, restriction. You've created a new way. So it's not just inner peace, it's soul-led life. And it's attainable, and that's what we're being asked to achieve. We're being led to know that that's possible in our lifetimes. I fundamentally believe it. I feel it. The changes at the moment are considerable, dramatic even though we see a lot more in the news that says otherwise. It's not going to report on the happy stuff, the positive stuff, because they don't want you to know it. But it is happening. Take responsibility for your vibration. Go and enjoy this meditation repeatedly. You'll feel the frequencies come through and change. Enjoy it. Enjoy your meditation, enjoy your journey, and enjoy helping others. I think that's all from me. Any more from you?
No, I don't think so. I think the only thing that I was thinking about was the little curveball where they talk about, the bit where we're saying they just randomly bring in about unsavoury beings from other places and planets. I feel like that's because there's a really big stream of consciousness at the moment where it's becoming more I'm not going to say mainstream, but I think in the world of awakening it's becoming much more prominent, and I think there's a lot of fear around it. A lot of fear. Yeah,
so they're coming in to prepare us for the fact that we might be bombarded with some information, and just sit with it, and if it doesn't make you feel good, turn it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
But don't let it put you off tuning into high vibrational guidance like Helen and the DC and other amazing channels out there who've got wonderful information. Don't let the fake news put you off.
Because then it just causes a distortion with your own connection with yourself. So it becomes a barrier.
Well, it's heart closing rather than heart opening, and then your soul has difficulty getting through. So enjoy all of that. We look forward to number 13, lucky for some, next week. And enjoy your week. Sending lots of love to everyone.
Bye.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.